Hi everyone, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the M60 Patton Tank Platoon box for Team Yankee, a World War III miniatures game from Battlefront Miniatures, the same folks who brought us Flames of War. So this is a continuing release from the Stripes, the US source book. We've already actually looked at the M60 as part of Ryan's Leathernecks, which is the starter box set that came with 3 of these, as well as 6 of the HMMWV Humvees. So this box set, though, just released this week and contains 5 and lets you flesh out your Patton army. So the box retails $45 US and you get 5 tanks, so that's a little bit less than $10 per tank, which is really nice, especially considering that the M60 is a nice beefy sized model. So on the back we have the contents. We have an exploded diagram, assembly diagram, an example of a painted tank, as well as the contents: 5 plastic tanks, 1 plastic tank commander screw, a decal sheet, and 8 unit cards. So opening it up, we have our 5 sprues, we have our bag with our cards, decals, tank commander. Looks like just 1 tank commander there. Now these sprues are identical to what we got in Ryan's Leathernecks, so it's the same sprue. But if you haven't seen that video, we'll go ahead and show this off in detail so you can get an idea of what you are getting. Let me zoom in here. And I've already built 6 of these. I had 2 of the Ryan Leathernecks box sets, and they are really nice kits. It contains extra parts here to make, like loader machine guns, crates, but searchlights for the gun, to create other versions of the M60. I imagine that's for functionality or compatibility with the Arab-Israeli book that's going to be coming out. As well as 2 different gun barrels, so you can make the A3 or the A1 variant, depending on whether you're making US Marine Corps or US Army. But again, very nice detail. There's the turret. Now I do know from constructing these already that this injection point here, you have to be careful trimming this so you don't mar your tank. And it's just being careful when you're cutting. It is kind of a thick one though, so you want to be careful getting it. But to Battlefront's credit, they didn't put it at the top of the turret, they put it at the bottom of the turret, which makes it easier to clean up and easier to cover your mistakes. So there you go, that is the tank sprue itself. Next up, we'll take a look at cards and other goodies. Alright, after a couple of hours I was able to assemble the entire box of M60 Pattons, and again, if you saw my other review, you already know my thoughts on assembling those. If you haven't though, we'll just talk about it briefly. Assembly was fun. I didn't have any real problems with it. These tanks are quite easy to put together. There's not much to them. The only thing, let's see, on the turret was the connection points where the sprue attaches to the turret. You would just want to be careful to sand those. Because you have this detail here, these raised details, it's really easy to slice or damage that detail when you're trying to cut or trim the sprue gate. But being careful, and that'll go away, and that's an issue with any plastic model, not just Battlefront. The other thing is you want to be careful on the alignment for this back cage. It's 3 pieces that kind of clamp together and then go on the back here. There is a slot on either side to positively set these in the right spot, but there is a little wiggle to it, so you want to make sure it is balanced and equal. The turret went together well. The hull, I really like the M60 hull, particularly the underside. Normally these tanks don't have a lot of detail, but this one has the cool suspension and kind of bathtub shaped hull that's so iconic of the M60 design, so I like that. And it's kind of cool because then you can look through the tracks just like you can on the real M60. And the detail was great. The ship, or sorry, the tank, not ship, went together well. Again, this seam here, you want to be careful. The back plate went together really well. So overall, really fun tank. All right, so here are the other contents of the box. We have the decal sheet, which is the standard American decal sheet. We'll get that in focus there for you, for U.S. vehicles. So it's the same sheet you got in your Abrams box, your M113 box, so nothing new here. Now what is interesting is I got this, which is one metal crew commander, although on the back of the box, interestingly enough, it says one plastic tank commander sprue. So obviously this is a mispack or something like that. And if you get that, just email Battlefront. They'll often fix it really quick and send it out to you. I have enough extra plastic tank commanders that I could care less. Typically out of a unit of 5, I'm only going to have 1 or 2 that have a tank commander in it. So not a big deal, but just know that either I got a mispack or the contents of the box it was incorrect, and you just get one metal tank commander, not a sprue of 5. All right, so moving on, we have the U.S. Forces sheet for Team Yankee. This has the Army and the Marine Corps. And this is good because if you watch the Ryan's Leatherneck unboxing, you'll know that the cards that Ryan's Leathernecks came with was just for the USMC, just for the Marine Corps. So here we're getting forces for both, which is nice. And it's a reason to maybe pick up this box set instead of just picking up tons of copies of Ryan's Leathernecks. All right, so what do we have here? We have 2nd Marine Division M60 Tank Platoon. So this card is the same as what we get in Ryan's Leathernecks. We'll talk about those stats in a minute. Same thing here. This is the tank company, which shows you your HQ that you can purchase as well as your support units and the stats of your HQ Patton. Then we have the Team Yankee M60 Patton Tank Platoon. So this is the United States Army version of it. And one of the differences between the two that you'll notice is that the Marines can build up to 5. They can have up to 5 tanks in each platoon for 20 points, whereas the U.S. Army, the Team Yankee version, you can only get 4. However, the U.S. Army version is a more capable tank. It has better equipment on it. And we'll take a look at those stats. We'll talk about those stats in a minute. So the next card is, again, another Team Yankee M60 Patton Platoon. You have the HQ for the Army version. You have the ever popular movement order card. And then, I guess this is another M60 2nd Marine Division HQ card. All right, so let's talk about the stats between the two versions that you get here. You've got the M60 for Team Yankee, and then you've got the M60 for the Marines. So they're priced the same. Both of these are approximately 4 points a tank. The armor is the same, 15 front, 8 side, top 2. Again, they're not going to be stopping a modern Russian tank from the front. The Russians will just punch right through that with their anti-tank rating of 22. I guess at long range you might be able to bounce on a 6 or equal on a 6. But and then speed-wise, tactical of 10, terrain-14, cross-country 20, road-24, cross-check of 2+, all the same for both tanks. The weapon itself is pretty similar. Both have 40-inch range, have a moving and halted firing rate of 2, 20 anti-tank rating, and a 2+ firepower. However, the Marine version gets the accurate and stabilizer rule, whereas the American U.S. Army version gets the stabilizer and laser rangefinder rule. So that's a subtle difference between those rules, and we'll look at the back. The laser rangefinder for Team Yankee, that gives you no penalty for shooting at long-range targets beyond 16 inches. Accurate, that the Marine Corps get, is similar, but the tank can't move, so it has to be stationary. So the laser rangefinder basically works, works when the tank moves or it stays put, whereas accurate is. So the nod goes to the U.S. Army version as far as their main gun, a little bit better. They both have the same machine guns though, 50 cal, 7.62 millimeter loader gun, which is good. Now, another big difference between these two units is the skill. So you'll see that the Marine Corps one has a courage rating of 3+, and a remount of 3+, which is better than the Army's version with courage and remount of 4+. So they're both pretty similar, but the courage is a big one. It's going to stay in battle a lot longer. Remount on a 3+, that's going to be nice, but honestly these tanks are probably going to get destroyed rather than bailed out more often than not. But that courage of 3+ will be really nice, keep your platoons in battle a little bit longer. Otherwise, these two tanks are almost identical, and I don't think if they put the same barrel model, I think they use the same model for both. But you can see that. So there you go. On the battlefield, I think both of these have their place. I kind of am leaning towards the Marine Corps version right now, so I can build a Marine Corps list, a little bit different from my Abrams list in the Army. But I'll probably try them out both ways to see what they do. I think that stabilizer rule, or sorry, the laser rangefinder is more than counterbalanced by the improved courage on the Marine Corps version. So I think those are good. All right, guys, so there you go. That is an unboxing and a look at the M60 Patton Tank Platoon. Again, this is $45 retail. If you're going to be building a Marine Corps company, you could have up to 17 tanks in a list in one formation, 3 platoons of 5 and 2 in the HQ section. So at $45 for 5 tanks, a list like that is very doable. It gives Americans a way to actually spam some tanks onto the field. So there you go, guys. If you like this, please go ahead and let us know down below. Give us a like and subscribe. Let us know what you think about this M60 in the comments below. Are you guys going to be building M60 companies or in support? Are you going to be using American Marines or U.S. Army? I'd be curious to know. As always, you can also check us out on Facebook at All Miniatures Great and Small. We'd appreciate it if you hopped over there, gave us a like and follow us. We try to post up behind the scenes pictures, let you guys know what's upcoming on the channel so you can be in the loop. As always, guys, thanks for watching and keep on wargaming.